Greetings, friends. I'm Jada, your spiritual friend, and welcome to another conscious conversation. In this video, we will be discussing death from a cosmic perspective. But before we get started, please press that subscription button down below to see more conscious content. It's free. Anywho, let's get right into it. Death is one of the only things each and every one of us are guaranteed to experience at one point or another during this lifetime. But what really happens to us when we die? Do we really go to a heaven? Or do we go to a hell-like world full of torment and fire? Do we go to sleep and wait to be waken up by a higher power? Or is it just the end of us and nothing happens? Well, for starters, as with all things in the universe, there are sets of laws or rules in nature, and some of them we unknowingly are forced to abide by. One of the most significant laws of the universe is the law of conservation of energy, which literally states that the total energy of an isolated system is constant. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another or transferred from one system to another. So let's break this down in relation to our human experience. We are energy, literally, big balls of matter and energy. And although our life seemingly began with the date of birth, according to the law, we are technically recycled. And the energy of us was technically never created because you and I have technically always existed. We were just in different forms. Our actual spirit, soul, or the force that allows us to be is responsible for who we are and has always and will always continue to exist because the energy of our being cannot be destroyed. We are the isolated system, and although our human life may have an expiration date, the energy of our soul is constant and must live on even after our physical death. We see this concept to be especially true with children. There are countless cases of young children, once they're able to speak, recalling experiences of past lives that they've lived. Many children tell stories that are not make-believe and contain information far more advanced than their current age group. Doctors at the University of Virginia have actually released a guide for parents whose children have recalled past life memories. These doctors explain that this is not a sign of mental illness and can occur in families with a belief in reincarnation or in families where the idea of reincarnation had never been considered before the child began making these statements. I placed a link in the description box below if you're interested in reading it for yourself because it is actually mind-blowing. And considering the fact that most children have not yet been conditioned to suppress how they feel, it is easier for them to recall past lives due to their limited time in their current life. They are able to further prove reincarnation to be true. So with that in mind, we see that instead of viewing death as an ending, we must look at it as a transition to a new beginning. Death and birth are one, and we all have lived many different lives. We have been different races of people, different animals. We've lived on different planets or realms. Our consciousness has always been alive in this insurmountable multiverse. So the possibilities are actually limitless when it comes to describing who and what you and I have been or will be. Many humans before us have known this for centuries. Reincarnation is thousands of years old and predates any religious texts or religion that our society is currently influenced by. Although there are different beliefs to the extent of reincarnation or rebirth, the idea is that you either transcend this world according to your deeds on earth and be free from the cycle of life and death, or continue to live a cycle of death and rebirth into various people or animals. So what happens to your soul after you transition really just depends on your behavior during this lifetime. which is why it is important to stay in line with leading a righteous path in order to experience peace in the afterlife and beyond. The karma that you accumulate over the many lifetimes also plays a huge role in your current experiences. So a lot of times, if you find yourself constantly facing hardships or struggles, you could be dealing with past life karmic debt that needs to be repaid or replaced with actions and deeds that essentially cancel out that debt. If you live your life and it seems to be a little bit easier and things are never really too hard or too difficult for you, perhaps you may have very little karmic debt and are here to finally fulfill your soul's purpose in order to transcend this earth. At the time of your death, a snapshot is taken of your life. For instance, if you happen to transition during a time where you were not positively adding to the planet and those around you, you will more than likely be reincarnated back to this earth to relive many of your experiences and try to overcome your shortcomings that you had in previous lives. But if you transition during a time where you internally feel that you are serving your true soul's purpose and you're actually adding to enhancing your life and the life of others, you more than likely are going to transcend this reality. And when you die, you'll ultimately be able to experience higher worlds. So despite what most of us have been taught our entire lives, death is not the end. Death is not final. Death is only the beginning. The beautiful thing about the human experience is that we always have chances to be better today than we were yesterday, to choose to live a better life than we may have lived previously. And we must make sure not to just focus on the physical manifestations that may appear to make our lives better, like accumulating money or other physical things that truly have no long-term value, but rather making sure we are actually good humans that are positively adding to the collective consciousness on our planet. Then and only then will you and I truly be able to transcend this earthly reality, to transition consciously into blissful cosmic worlds that are beyond this 3D reality. Just as some flowers may appear to die in the winter, with time, they are rebirthed in the spring. Nothing is gone forever. If you're interested in finding out more information about a past life, please feel free to book a past life reading with me, as I'm also a channel that will be able to guide you into who you were before. My website is in the description box below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and again, please subscribe to my channel for more conscious content, and I will see you again soon.